Hey guys, it's Patty. Monday, February 2nd, 2026, and there's still snow on the ground and it's still cold here in the Piedmont, but we do have sun and everything is quickly melting, but the roads, on the other hand, oh, it's rough. We haven't gone out, don't need to go out. And, the state of North Carolina is not prepared for this kind of stuff, so it's going to be a while before the roads clear, but I wanted to come on real quick. And I was out here for a little while yesterday, to try a new technique on the butterfly, and I'm going to share that with you in a second. But I'm going to flip you around. I put, the one of the toolboxes, I've got it set up, and I'm going to flip you guys around. But there she be. But I got this thing set up yesterday, and I am very happy. Top. These are all my embossing powders and flocking powders. Different hole punches that do, different designs and everything. And I've also got different scissors are going to go in here also. Glitter. It's all glitter. Like I said, I have a lot of glitter. This is different inks that I use for Sumi Nagashi and alcohol inks and stuff. These Sabre Rose inks. And I also have resin tint. I'm going to be doing some resining this year. Then down here is more Bray Rose stuff. I've got the material to do alcohol inks on. Different pads and stuff that I can use for it. And then down here I've got string and twine and different treatments and notions and stuff for different things. This is where, because I don't have a lot of this. This is cordage and stuff. But this is where I figured I'd put that. And then here on the bottom, I've got two mini glue guns. I've got an Aleene's glue gun. But, I've got my Ryobi's now, so I don't really use them this much. These are fabric glue sticks, and then my normal glue sticks, and of course, glitter glue sticks. Don't laugh, I do use them. So yeah, I still need to get the other one out of the box and figure out what I'm going to... But I did try the new technique on the butterfly yesterday, and I do like it, so I'm going to bring you along real quick and show you that. But let me flip you... And we're going to be doing this, and that's smooth, and that is actually melted wax. So I'm going to bring you guys up and show you how I did it. Alright guys, so... playing with the butterfly today, and I have over the years I've bought a lot of wax melts and stuff from Hobby Lobby and Michaels and stuff when they've been on clearance. The stuff that you would take and seal envelopes and stuff with, and then you have the little pins with all the little sags and stuff. But I figured, why not melt wax into some of the holes on this? And normally you would use a lighter, but yesterday I tried it out to see if my heat gun that I can use for embossing and such would work. And that's what I did this with. And you can actually buy little containers of wax melts in different colors. And I had bought these on clearance and figured I would try it out. And it actually did work. I didn't film yesterday because it was very cold here in the studio, but they're very, very little. I used one of these in this hole, and I think I actually want to do a second one. But I'm going to start on this side and show you how I did this. And like anything with a heat gun, it's going to take patience. But I'm just going to set the wax melt in there. And I know that if you were to use one of the sticks that has the wick on the end of it, you could do it with a lighter and let it drip. But I knew that I'm going to cover such a large space, a heat gun would probably work better. We're going to turn on the heat gun and let it get warm up real quick. Catch up with us here in a second. There we go. You'll let the heat gun warm up. And just like with embossing powder, it does take a moment to get to the point where it starts to melt. And with this, just putting it directly over it seems to work well. And it's starting to get shiny and starting to melt, so it's going to take a moment. And once it hits a certain point, it starts to melt really, really fast. I'm just going to let it melt on down. And I'm actually going to do two of them in here, but I'm going to do the one. As you see, it's starting to melt, and you could actually shift a little bit. Now, if you wanted to take a paintbrush or a paint stick or something sharp, you can actually start to spread it out because it will move. But I did find yesterday, if you just let it melt fully, But it will get to the point where you can shift it just by rotating what you're putting it into. Now, as you see, the more it melts, the more it moves. See, it's starting to move there? So you could literally do it as it's melting and rotate it through. And now it's at the point now, it's just about fully melted. And so I could force it into different spots or just turn it this way. I'm actually going to let it melt a little bit more. A little bit more full melt. We'll let it lean down a little bit. And this is something yesterday was the first time I tried it. And it's obviously something that the more you work with it, the more comfortable you will get with what will work. See, at this point I'm kind of letting gravity and the wind blowing off of it, but it's at the point, I'm going to turn that off and we're just going to let it, I'm going to tap it and stuff, and as you see, it wound up coming up on the edges here on me, so I'm actually going to go ahead, because it's wax, so it becomes, you know, once it cools down, it's going to get to the point where you won't be able to pull off, and on the wood, once it cools down, it will stick to the wood, and if you try to peel it back, it's going to pull up some of your wood with you. The one I did yesterday was just a single melt point, just one of the little dots. And so, but I'm actually going to do two of them. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set another one into here and start it again. I'm going to just drop it right in the middle and do the same thing again, but instead of bringing it up, we're just going to let it sit there and work on it. And the heat gun is good and warmed up now, so it's not going to take it that long. But instead of me moving it around this time, we're just going to let it fully melt. And once I know it's fully melted, then I'll do the shifting and everything. It's about halfway down now. And like I said yesterday, try new techniques. Never be afraid to experiment. That's how we learn what works and what doesn't. It's at the point now where I can blow it around a little bit. It's almost fully melted, and two of them almost fills up the cavity completely. I have a little bit more left to go there. It's just about there because it makes it smooth. Alright. It is fully melted, and I'm actually going to take and do this so it will slide a little bit and fill into the hole. I'm going to tap it to convince it to go down. I really do like the way that looks. I mean, it does. I mean, I do love that. And it gives it a little bit of a glossy sheen to it, which is what I was wanting. Okay, I've cleaned up the edges. Now, see, this is two of them. And then this is just one. So I'm going to go in on this side, and I'm going to do another one on this. I'm going to build up the layers. And I could probably do a third one in there to bring it fully level with the top of the wood, but I don't want to do that. Makes me wish I had more colors in this than the purple. Let's go ahead and do this one. And as it's cooling, it's providing a really pretty shine on this. Move to the middle. We're going to do just like I did on that one. We're going to let it fully melt before I start to manipulate it. This is fun. And I picked these up. As you can see, I'm a huge fan of Hobby Lobby and the clearance. Now, if I can buy it on clearance, I'll buy it. I don't necessarily like to pay full price for things. The Hobby Lobby doesn't do as much of a clearance anymore on their stuff like they used to. I think after doing this, I know I want to go buy other colors in this because this is fun. Not quite there. It's close. There's still a little bit of a lump in there. And there is air that comes off of this, so it's almost like a hair dryer. So it does move it a little bit. As you can see, I'm getting ripples and such in there. There we go. It popped. And I would say that's as far as it's going to go. So I'm actually going to manipulate it a little bit down this way to fill towards that way a little bit. Because that spot down here in this corner here is not quite there. Because this one over here is cooled off enough where it's not. Now, would I recommend doing back-to-back and all of them at the same time? No, because I'm pretty sure it could still move for a little while until it's fully cooled. We're going to, and I'm using the same paintbrush the other day that's got the glitter and stuff on it. Haven't cleaned it off. Now, if I was doing something that's very meticulous, that I don't want to contaminate from side to side, I would absolutely clean it off or use a different brush. But I really do like the look of that. I actually want to see if I can get this to melt a little bit more to go into this corner, because it's not quite filled in enough. I can still see the hint of the wood behind it. Now it's at the point I can get it soft enough and manipulate the flow, the movement. And so I'm trying to create a little bit of a wave to go towards that way, to fill that in. Melissa, if you're watching, I got to show you this when I'm with you. This is something you would have fun with. Now, it's not quite flowing into this spot that I want, so I'm going to take that and we're going to convince it to go down into there, just like that. And with the wax melt, if it's not smooth enough for you, hit it with this, and it's going to smooth it out for you. Look at that. I like that. I like that enough that I want to do this and a few more spots. We're going to go, I think, to this spot and this spot. And I'm almost thinking we probably just need to do half of one because of how it filled in. Not 100% sure where my utility knife. I typically have a utility knife, but I'm not 100% sure where it's at. So we're just going to use a pair of scissors to cut down through the middle of it. And we're going to figure out what's going to work to cut this in half. Oh, it did it, sort of. We're going to convince it to cut in half. I mean, they're not hard. They're slightly soft. But I know I only want to use half in it. See how far the half, because with something like this, I think it'd be better to have to do it again and add more than have too much to start with. Okay, we're going to put this in here. And we're going to heat it up. And like I said, these come from, this butterfly came from Hobby Lobby. But you can buy wooden shapes from Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Dollar Tree. I know Dollar General recently has started selling them. Places like that. And you see the force of the wind, how it blew it up out of there? I'm going to wipe that off. Try and convince it to melt. And this was, like I said, just an experiment for me. But I like the look of it. I really, really do. Let's just about hit that point where it's going to go whoosh, like a melted snowman. Oh, yeah. Good thing I didn't pull a whole one in there. Good thing I didn't put an entire one in there. Because the half one is perfect size. It has gotten very messy now. Ooh, that's hot. Of course, I mean, it'll be covered up with other colors, but yeah. I really, really, really like that. And I know you can see the shine on that. So let me take this other half of one, and we're going to put it over here. And I know it's going to get a little messy because it's sticking out on the sides. So I'll have to clean it up too. I would have recorded yesterday when I played with that one just to try it. But it was very cold out here. Even though I have my split unit, it's been super cold. And I was not out here long. Well, come on, get that point. Oh, it's almost there. And I have wanted, I've wanted an industrial heat gun, a Wagner or Wagner, however you pronounce it. And Harbor Freight actually has one, their brand version, that I'm thinking about buying. But I think the amount of air that would come off of it, it would push this stuff too much. A little bit more in. So I think that's all I'm going to do on that. I could actually tilt it a little bit, but I truly, truly like that. I really, really like that. This one here is starting to bubble up a little on the edge. I guess it's releasing air. See if I can get rid of these air bubbles by heating it again, but I don't know that it will. Yeah, it will. It's closing them up. But I think that's air coming up that's trapped. And so when I go to finish this entirely off, if I'm not happy with air bubbles, I can go ahead and reheat it and let it smooth back out again. I really, really do like that. I'm going to, since I like that so much, I have red and green, white and black, and silver. I think I want to take some silver. And typically with this, you know, you would light it and let it drip. But I like what I'm doing here. And I think I'm just going to break it off. Not pull the wick completely out. Well, oh well, I pulled the wick completely out. So be it. We're just going to break it off with my hand here. Well, this is harder than the nuggets. Okay. I just want a small piece or two. Okay. Where'd you go? All right. I really, this silver, I think it's going to be very pretty. I think I'm going to do the tips up here. Okay. I wonder if that's going to be too much. Well, we're going to see. We're just going to stand it up. And we're going to go for it. Trial and error. Experimentation is how we learn. How we learn what works and what doesn't. These little nuggets, I think, are perfect size for something like this. Because this one is going to shift. Ooh, where's my little paintbrush? I will definitely be cleaning up the edges of this one. We're going to push it back this way because it's still pretty solid there in the middle. Because I definitely, with this, you want to make sure it melts fully. You don't want to leave a glob in the middle, I don't think. It's close. It's very close to being fully melted. And it's like a mud puddle. I'm going to bring you up so you can see this. Hopefully you'll be able to see the movement as I'm pushing into it with the air off the heat gun. Okay, we're going to leave it at that. I'm actually going to go in with a little alcohol wipe here to clean this up on the side. Because it's going to be fully covered. All the wood, you won't be able to see the wood itself when this is fully done. So anything left behind will be covered with something at some point. Now, I will say that, I don't know if it's because there's glitter in this one. Because you can't tell that there's, well, I guess if you look at it right, you can tell there's glitter on it. It's not as smooth as that one was. I mean, that is smooth. It's like glass. This one, I don't think it's going to be that smooth. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to come up to this one here. We're going to do this one also. See if I can, there we go. Push that one down in there. Give this one a try. Tell you what, let me bring you guys, I want to move this and bring this up a little bit more so that maybe you guys can see a little bit better. And I'm definitely, rather than what I was doing on the purple and just leaving it in one spot, I'm trying to do it all the way around it. With this silver one, it seems to work out better if I'm constantly moving it. It's almost hitting that sweet spot where it's just all going to collapse on itself. It's almost there. It's there, and it's not quite as full as that one was. So I'm going to take some of the little slivers that came off of this, if I can find them, or I will just scrape some off into it. I'm going to use my scissors and scrape some off because I want to make it full like that one is over there. So I'm going to try to do, this is where utility knife would come in handy. Don't scream at me, all you quilters. Yes, it's a rotary cutter. Bingo. It did what I needed to do, which was give me several different little pieces. And have random little pieces in here. And we're going to put this one in there. We're going to build this one up a little bit at a time. See if we can get it to come up to the top. And of course I have a random piece of red glitter in there from my paintbrush, but that's okay. Now when you're doing a project like this, if you want to be where nothing intermingles with it, you're going to have to clean your space constantly. Sometimes I will do that. I will be very meticulous. This side here is just going to take a lot. See how it starts to bubble and just fall in on itself? Now, could you use a hairdryer? No, your hairdryer is not going to get hot enough to do this. I want to turn this up so you guys can see. You see the inside of that? It is red because it is hot, hot. You would burn yourself. You would put your finger to it. Okay, I've got to add another piece. This one may be cup runneth over at this one. So we will see. I probably should have shaved this one down a little bit more before I started it. See how it's starting to really drop in there? Oh yeah. It's just about fully melted. All right. She's there. Fully melted. We're going to clean it up a little bit. Where is that? Okay, I don't know where it went to. Open up another alcohol swab here. These little alcohol swabs, when you're doing detail stuff, they're not that expensive. I highly recommend having a supply of these around. Ooh, interesting. Okay, this wood just showed me something. It is not a solid piece of wood that when it was made, they just drilled into it. They put two pieces together because it is leaking from here over. Ho ho. Very, very interesting. This whole, yeah. The wood itself is starting to come apart. And so it's leaking on the edges. Well, there's going to be a unique aspect I wasn't anticipating. So it's leaking into the other parts of the wing there. Well, and I think that's probably because of the heat factor. It's releasing the glue between the two sheets. So when they've made this, they've done the cutout, and then they've glued it to a that's exactly, they've glued it to a second piece of plywood. So the heat is releasing the glue on it, but that's okay. So I just know not to spend an hour doing that or it's going to pull completely apart. That's okay. So we're going to clean up what's run into the other spots. And there is quite a bit of heat coming off of this. The entire piece of wood there is hot. But it's wax, so it gets to a point where you can just take your nail to it and scrape it off. So that's pretty cool. But as far as the wax, I really, really like that. I am definitely going to buy more of the nuggets and other colors if I can, because I really like that. Now see, this one, the one I did today, is fully smooth. Some small air bubbles in there. This one has developed quite a few air bubbles. See, it's got quite a few air bubbles that are popping up in it, but I'm pretty sure if I hit it with the heat gun again, that it will smooth them out and melt them together. But it's uniqueness, so for now I'm just going to leave it. I do like the silver. I'm definitely going to have to clean the wood up from around it now. And since it's wax, it'll scrape off relatively easily, but you don't want to scrape it too hard, or you're going to pull the wood itself apart. That is very interesting. So you've seen embossing, glitter, and wax. Oh, I guess I could, but we figured out that it doesn't work too well on the wood. Let's see, what else can we do real quick? I don't want to do any of that yet. I don't want to do colored pencils. Colored pencils, Let's see what we might have over here. Let's do some flocking. Let's do some flocking. We're going to... Okay. Alright. Sticky embossing powder and flocking. Now, flocking is fiber bits. It's fuzzy bits. And I will say this. I've had this flocking powder for a very long time. I've never been a huge fan of it, but I have a lot of it. And the goal is to use this stuff and then never buy it again when I run out. So, going to try another new technique. Because the one time, and yes, one time only, time that I have done flocking, it was an epic fail for me. I did not like it. And I just never picked it up again. But as you saw in the drawer earlier, I have a ton of it. And you can tell this has never been opened. Has the other one ever been opened? No. Neither one of them have been opened, so I've got to get this one open. Okay, there we go. All right. Now, from what I remember, let's read this. To use, ink a stamp with embossing ink and press over the surface. Sprinkle sticky embossing powder over the stamped image. Tap off. Use heat to craft melt powder. Immediately adhere foils, glitter, or flocking. Okay. So, since I'm not inking an image, I'm just going to be putting into this. I'm going to be putting this into it, melting it, and immediately put the flocking on it. And I don't think that we melted the flocking. Finish. Okay. All right. So, oh boy, shall we create a mess? Because I think that's what's getting ready to happen. I wish I had a little teaspoon. Thought I'd grab some. But we're just going to put, oh my goodness, we're just going to grab a little chunk of this. We're going to go for this one right here. Oop, well, hey, there we go. We're just going to put that in there. We're going to see how this does. So it's a white powder. It's supposed to turn sticky so that when I put the flocking on it, the flocking sticks to it. In for a penny, in for a pound. Here we go. Jeez, well, how is it supposed to melt if it blows it away? Okay. All right. That's why it says to ink it. Okay. Because it's automatically going to blow it away. So it has to stick to something. So let's grab, you know, that Versamark I used. I'm going to grab the Versamark pen. We'll use the Versamark pen. Take the Versamark pen and put it in there. Okay. See, this is how you learn. And I'm going to go back in now that I've put the Versamark into it. Then we're going to put this in there. And hope it doesn't fly away this time. And that may be too much. Shall we see? Now, as you can see, I'm holding it a ways away. Okay. Looks like it's going to have to be a thin layer. Wow. That's an interesting smell. It smells like burnt cotton candy. Is that sticky? So it's a very, very thin layer you put on there. Okay. My light fell. See? It fell. Let's see if we can get my light back up here. Oh my goodness. Oh goodness, goodness, goodness. Let's get the light back up. Say, oops. Oops. Now back to our regular scheduled programming. You guys went for a ride when it came down. Okay. It is still sticky, but I don't know that I don't know that I trust it. I want to put a little bit more down, but I don't know that it's going to melt it. So I think it has to be thin layers. The one time I've ever used this, I hated this stuff. And it did not impress me at all. See, the air just wants it to blow away. Okay, supposedly if I put this on it, it's going to stick to it. I don't know. Somehow I'm thinking that if you just do the glue, just use glue for it. I don't know, do we melt the flocking powder? I truly don't know. Okay, right now, I'm going to call this an epic fail for me at the moment. I'm going to do some research on flocking. Because like before the last time, and now we're talking 15 years since I've used it. I hated it then, I think I still hate it. Experimentation, it's what it's about. Man, what a mess. Now, I mean, the embossing, the sticky stuff is still there, but it's no longer sticky. So I don't know. I do not know. We got to do something about that. We got to do something about that. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. You know what? We're going to solve that. Make myself happy. We're going to go on with some more purple wax. What do you think? We're going to do one layer of the purple wax on both sections. And I will do some research tonight about flocking. Flocking. And I will come back tomorrow and see if I can properly flock. See, the purple ones and the little nuggets, the way they melt is so nice. See how it's spreading out as it melts? I really, really do like these purples. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. And of course I've heat embossed, that next to it. So it's reheated what's next to it. And don't do what I just did and touch it. I'm going to leave that just like that. I like that. I'm going to leave that just like that. Right in the middle. I really, really do like that. I'm going to do this one here too. But I'm going to leave it. I don't want to force it to the ends because I think I want to go in. I'm going to get some different color in this. Maybe if I could find a yellow or a green, a bright green, to put on each end of it. I really do love the little nuggets. They weren't very much. Patience, patience, patience. Come on. There we go. There's the epic melt. Keep going. Woo! See, it's rebubbling up over here too. The previous heat embossing I did. All right, I'm calling it right there. I'm not going any further with that. I'm going to leave it just like it is. I really need to clean that up on the yellow, but it's reactivated the heat on this one. But I'm going to let it die back down a little bit. It reactivated that. So that is, like over here, I made it run again. So I'm going to leave it just like it is. Plan is to find maybe some green nuggets or some yellow. And I'll go and do the tips on the other ends. So we know that right now, I can't flock. I need to learn. I need to watch some videos. YouTube is a great resource. This is a Ranger ink, sticky embossing powder, and some flocking. I need to do some research, and I'll come back tomorrow, and we'll play some more with the flocking so I can figure it out. Wow. I'm going to bring you guys down and show you what we got. Alright guys, so I brought you back down to the table. And this is what we've got. See, I really, really do love the wax looking. It is smooth, but I do have bubbles coming up into it. I'll probably go in eventually with another layer. Both of these and go ahead and bring them up level. Because right now, they're just below the surface. The silver ones that I did on the top, still trying to decide if I really, really like them. And of course, the flocking was an epic failure. But I'm going to go find some more wax melts in different colors. And do opposing colors in the top. She's getting there. Guys, we're at a 30-minute video. Again, I had no clue. But it's fun. Experimentation is fun. That's how you learn. Never be afraid to try and have a failure like my flocking experience that I flocked up. Pun intended, folks. Pun intended. But I am going to do some research, and I'm going to find out how to truly use this. I know that most people would stamp an image, and with the black ink, they would attach it and go from there. But I don't want to have to stamp an image. So there has to be a workaround. We're going to figure it out, and I will do it tomorrow. And it will either be just something I just can't do and just will never touch again. And that leaves me a lot of flocking powder to get rid of because, well, you saw I had half a drawer of it. Some really cool colors. This one is called Flower Soft. And even on the bottom of it, it says, use with Flower Soft glue for general crafts and hobbies. But it's a flocking powder. I'm going to figure out a way to use this. We'll figure it out. It's what experimentation and learning is all about. That's what crafting is all about. Having fun, learning new techniques, learning what works for you, what doesn't, what you're uncomfortable with doing, and what you have an absolute blast doing. You know, life is too short not to have a little bit of fun, and I plan on having fun all the time. And I still have, when I was doing the embossing the other day, I still have my little can of flossing. It's everywhere. I haven't cleaned up. Of course, I've been preoccupied with snow and ice also. She's getting there. She's getting there. She's getting there. I do like her. She's going to be a long work in progress. Guys, I'm going to let you go. I'm actually getting ready to pull my other black toolbox out of the box, get it set up, and figure out what's going to go in it. So, guys, I'm going to catch you guys tomorrow with some flocking advice, I think, of how to flock. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. You know, I can't help but try. I've at least tried once. 2 different ways to try it. I will figure it out. And if not, then I'm just going to walk away and say, it's in my past, and I'm not coming back to it. Guys, have fun today. Make yourself smile today. And if you make someone else smile, that's bonus. But guys, remember, love yourself, believe in others, and inspire those around you. I'll catch you next time.